I'm so excited for today. I've been waiting for this for like 2 months now. Lauren and I are in the same mastermind group, and we were at a live event this summer. Lauren was sitting right next to me, like 2 seats down. We go to the breakout room and they're like, "Hey, what's your number one need?" I'm like, "I need an AI agent to answer the phones because I'm always on the phone. It's impossible for me to answer the phone." And probably about 10 years ago, my sister said to me, she goes, "Dude, are you ever going to answer your phone?" I'm like, "I'm always on the phone. I can't, it's impossible for me to answer a phone." Even clients in the beginning, I go, "Your best way to get an answer from me is to text me." But I've heard these live AI agents that are just tremendous right now that are conversational, that can get all the information and get your customer to that next step. And so they're like, "Hey, have you talked to Lauren?" And I'm like, "Lauren who?" And they're like, "Dude, she's sitting right next to you." And I'm like, "Lauren," I go, "Lauren." And she's like, "Yeah, Jeff." She's like, "We shared a stage in San Diego in February." She's like, "Did you not hear me?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry, but my ears were not ready to hear AI at that time." But she's been traveling all over the country and helping everybody in this industry go to where the puck is going so that you can be successful going forward. And she has scaled her business. We talked before you guys hopped on about, I'm like, how do you get business done right now? Because all you're doing is speaking and helping others. And she's like, "I have a team that can handle it." So she can help you with the team building piece of it as well. But with that, Lauren, thank you, thank you, thank you. And she may have jet lag. She just got in like at midnight last night, coming from Colorado. She still got up early to do this for us. So I'm so thankful that you're on here and have at it.
I appreciate it. Yes, thank you so much for having me, Jeff. I know that I've been in the mastermind for 3 years, and there's a ton of valuable people in that mastermind group, and I was with four of them in Colorado. So you're actually the fifth one I've gotten to see this week. So yeah, for those of you who don't know me or haven't stalked me on Instagram, I feel like that's what we always do when we attend speaker events these days, right? Who are they and what are they about? I am Lauren Lucas. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I've been an agent now for almost 9 years. I got licensed in 2017. And I started off as a solo agent, built a team as big as 11 at one point. And I'm going to dive into a little bit more about my story and how AI has helped us grow. And Jeff, I just sent you a request to share screen. Perfect. All right. So I am very interactive. If you have any questions, I will try to keep up with the chat. Like Jeff said, I'm just going to run through and keep talking until you guys stop listening, and bring as much value as I possibly can. So Jeff, if you don't mind watching the chat in case I missed anything,
Yep,
that would be awesome. All
I
right.
got it.
So how many of us actually got into real estate to be glorified task managers tied to our phone 24/7, missing our kids' games, our family vacations? I don't see any hands up. None of us? None of us? I didn't think so. But when I go into talking about AI today, I want you to know that AI is not coming. Everything I'm going to show you today is actually real and available to you right now. And ChatGPT is not the only thing that is available. I know a lot of us, as the consumers who are not techie or maybe not that techie, we've heard ChatGPT for about the last 2.5, almost 3 years. And I'm going to show you other tools today that are going to help you in multiple different ways to utilize AI to be more efficient as well. I want you to know, though, that the AI is not here to replace you. It's not here to replace you as an agent. It's not here to replace your VA unless you want it to. It's not going to replace you as the human being. However, those of us who are utilizing AI are going to replace those who are not. We're going to scale faster. We're going to grow bigger. We're going to have more freedom if that's what we want. Not everybody wants to scale a business, and that's okay. But we can utilize AI to get our time back and get our life back. And so for me, I want to back that statement up with our data from 2024. So in 2023, we had 7 agents on our team. 7 agents was about the second biggest we'd been over the last 5 years. And almost overnight, we lost 4 of those agents. 2 of them went off to be on their own as single agents, which is bittersweet as a team lead, right? You want the birds to spread their wings and fly, but a third one got out of the business altogether, and the fourth was a part-time agent. We just said, "Hey, call a spade a spade. We're spending dollars, and you are not bringing anything in." So almost overnight, we went from 7 to 3. And so one would think that's a huge hit, right? You lost 67% of your team. That's a lot of manpower. That's a lot of transactions. And so I went deep in learning how I, as the rainmaker, could find a way to keep our numbers up, to at least stay afloat, knowing inventory was an issue, rates were an issue, and now our team was an issue. And so what happened over the course of 2024 was we actually increased our units sold by 20. We actually increased our volume sold by over $7 million. And we actually increased our GCI by over $400,000. And we didn't even take commission on 8 of those transactions because we as investors were purchasing them and only took a $1 commission. So this probably should have been more towards the 450, 500 if we would have taken full commissions. But this is the power of how agents who are utilizing AI
Mm.
are going to scale. We got $1 Million Agent for the first time in 8 years with the smallest team we'd ever had. In the hardest market we've been in, we averaged an increase of 30%. And that's how agents who are utilizing AI are going to take market share because we were able to do more faster and different than those who were still utilizing their manual systems and processes. So before we start, I want to squash a couple of limiting beliefs that some of you may have. I was super skeptical of AI too. I actually have a podcast on YouTube where someone interviewed me and I literally was like, I tried to break it. I thought it was just another shiny object, another distraction, another something, because we get a lot of those in the real estate industry, right? I was super skeptical about what it was able to do for me until I took the time to understand it. And so I'm going to give you guys that fast track today. I didn't have time for something new either. Jeff and I were just talking before we get in. We've got a real estate team. We flip properties, Airbnbs, property management, coaching. I've built my own tech team. Now I've got 2 kids in sports school. I didn't have time for any of this either. But late at night, as soon as the kids would go to school, or I'm sorry, to sleep from 9 o'clock at night to 2, 3 in the morning, I'm completely self-taught off of YouTube. I'm not some tech person. I don't have any tech background. I actually have a degree in criminal justice administration. So I took a very hard left in life. If I can do this, you absolutely can too. You're not too young, you're not too old, and you're certainly not too late. And I want you to know that this is going to help you actually increase your relationships. This is not going to have you losing that human touch. So those are the limiting beliefs I want to step on right off the gate, just in case you had them, so we can dive in and get super tactical. So 3 systems that you can build today that will make you unstoppable, all powered by AI and all available to you right now. These are the 3 things in my experience and what I've built that are going to get you the most time back while increasing your dollars and time at the same time. So the first one is AI powered lead generation. So how many of us love pounding the phones and cold calling, door knocking, prospecting, holding open houses every single weekend and missing our kids' games or family vacations or whatever that looks like? What if we could reverse engineer our lead generation and get people to come to us? And so, one thing that you can do today, and we're actually going to do this towards the end of the class together, is automating all of your lead generation by analyzing who your ideal client is. So, for those of you who maybe don't know who your ideal client is, I'll give you a couple of examples. Ours is, her name is Morgan. She owns a condo downtown. She's in a relationship now and she wants to move into a suburb, right? So everything that we're doing is talking to Morgan. We know where she shops. We know where she goes to the coffee store. We know what she likes to eat. We know where she hangs out. And so that's how specific our ideal client is. Yours could be something like first-time homebuyers, veterans, downsizers, people who are growing their family and moving up. There's a lot of different ways that we can come up with our ideal client. But the thing that I want you to understand is this person has to be someone that you're going to enjoy working with. You're not going to pick up your phone and roll your eyes every time. We've all had those kind of clients that are just draining our energy, right? We want to choose a niche. We want to choose a type of person that we enjoy working with. That way, when we do have, an abundance of these people in 90 days or so, we're going to enjoy our life while we do it. So analyzing your ideal avatar is number 1. Number 2 is creating something of value for them. So for example, if I'm going with my first time home buyer, I want to utilize AI to help me figure out what are their pain points? What keeps them up at night? What is it that they are questioning or they are scared of? And how can I become the solution to their problems? And so what that looks like, I'm just going to workshop this for you real quick. The fast track to that is this is my Instagram. What I would recommend you do is take your Instagram or Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're at, and just copy the URL of your own profile. And then go into ChatGPT. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have ChatGPT analyze who it is that we are speaking to
Oh,
in
wow.
our messaging. And so, hold on one second. Let me see what logged me out here.
That's so good.
All right.
And Lauren, while you're doing that,
Yeah.
you're right. Like as a lender, when I signed up, well, I don't think anybody aspires to be a mortgage loan officer, but I didn't know that I was putting myself on house arrest and not even
Uh,
committing the crime, right? Because our phones ring 7 days a week, and you
yep.
have to be available. Like you have to be there to serve.
Yep. So all I'm telling ChatGPT here is analyze my Instagram profile. Who am I speaking to? And here's the thing. If you're trying to speak to everybody, you're speaking to nobody. Whether it's social media, email campaigns, blog posts, newsletters, it doesn't matter. We need to figure out the pain point of the person on the other side of that scroll. And we need to be the one that's solving that pain point. And AI can help us do this. So as I put in, analyze my Instagram profile, who am I speaking to? It's telling me future real estate clients, buyers, sellers, investors who are moving to Columbus, first-time buyers, oops, um, real estate professionals, thought leaders, public speaking. So all of this is correct. This is who I speak to on my Instagram. However, if yours comes back and it is way out in left field or not clear who you want to speak with, this is how powerful AI can help you get it. So say, for example, this is great, but I want to focus on first-time home buyers in Columbus, Ohio. And what it's going to do is it's going to start to help me change my messaging. So as my first time buyer is scrolling through Instagram, I'm solving their pain points. I'm answering questions that they may or may not know that they have. And so what happens then is I start to attract these people into my ecosystem. And what I'm going to show you next is going to be the unlock of how we actually obtain their information in doing so. And so here is, if you want to zero down, here's what's meant for your Instagram. Messaging adjustments. So I can say it's giving me scripts and titles and things like that that I could actually be speaking on. So it's giving me content.
Wow.
What I can do then, couple of options. Obviously, I could come in here and I could say, create me a 30-day content calendar if I wanted to. Create me a month long of newsletters, blog posts, whatever it is that you feel comfortable doing. Instagram carousels if you don't want to be on video. And what it's doing is it's finding their pain points and becoming a way for us to solve it. So one thing I want to talk about that's going to be super impactful is we need to get these people to raise their hand. We need to get them to say, hey, Jeff, I want what you have to offer, and I'm willing to give you my name, my phone number, my email, whatever it is that Jeff wants to get whatever he's offering. And so has anyone here ever heard of a lead magnet? Couple people? Okay, a lead magnet is just something of value that we're offering in return for some sort of information. And so while we're in this chat thread where it's telling us who we're talking to, what we could be solving for them, we can actually tell it to create us a lead magnet.
Oh
Create me
wow.
a highly optimized lead magnet for first-time homebuyers, solving their biggest pain points. And so what it's going to do then is it's going to understand these people, and likely it's going to come back with they're terrified to make a mistake. They're not really sure where to start. They think that their down payment needs to be 20%. Let's see what it comes up with. But this is where we'll start to, within 5-10 minutes, have something of value that we can just give to these people in return for their information. So here's exactly what it came up with. The first time homebuyer playbook, Columbus edition, your step-by-step guide to your first home without stress, confusion, or costly mistakes. And then it's breaking down an outline. They don't know where to start. They have money worries, neighborhood confusion, fear of making mistakes. Here's the first section, the 5-step Columbus buyer playbook. Get ready for a mortgage, know your numbers, et cetera, et cetera. So it's breaking down this entire outline for me. And for time's sake, I'm just going to say that this is exactly what I want it to do. I'm going to say, create the final copy of this lead magnet. And I'm not prompting this in any certain way. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just telling it exactly what I want to do to show you guys, even if you don't know how to prompt, you can absolutely still do this right now, today, if you would like to. And so what happens then is I'm telling it to make that final copy, and it will actually write the entire thing for me. And so once we see, here's the first time homebuyer playbook, here's the heading, the subheading, a welcome letter, the 5-step Columbus buyer roadmap, It breaks down all of our different best suburbs. It talks about OFA and down payment. I could even throw in Jeff's information of here's my lender. Here's who you should get in contact with to get pre-approved. Here are some myths that are busted, right? And so what happens then is I could, again, for time's sake, I'm going to say this is exactly what I want it to be. I could come in here and just copy and paste this, come over here to Google Docs. It does not have to be anything fancy. You don't have to spend hours on Canva finding the right fonts and the right colors. You can literally come over here and paste it on a Google document. People
Wow.
want value. They want what you have to offer. They don't care if it's a flip book. They don't care if it's a piece of paper, right? And so I'm actually I pasted that incorrectly. I want to show you with the headers and stuff that ChatGPT will actually write to show you it's completely formatted. So if I just go here and click paste, you can see now it's got the headers, it's got the bold, it's got the italicized, it's got everything that I need, okay? This wrote this entire thing for us in about 5 minutes.
I literally blinked and I missed how you got the headers bold. How did you do that?
All I did was when I was in ChatGPT,
Yep.
where did it go? I told it I wanted to create a lead magnet. So it actually did all of it for me. It
Okay.
formatted it the way I wanted it to be formatted.
Okay. I didn't see it when you pasted it in the Word doc with the bold
Yep.
headings
So
and all.
the
The yellow
first
headings.
time I accidentally clicked paste without formatting, so I deleted it.
Oh,
The
got
second
you.
time I just clicked paste. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So we've analyzed our ideal client. We've figured out what their pain points are. And now we've created something of value for them. Okay. This entire webinar so far, we're only 20 minutes in and we've already done all of that. Okay. Now, all we have to do is make a social media post and AI will do the rest for us. So here's a little bit about how I use it, AI and social media, to attract leads into my world. This right here is a 7-second Be Real video of me late at night. You can see the neons. I was right here. I just turned on my camera. I put on it time-lapse mode and I was on my computer for a couple of minutes. I said nothing. I didn't have hair and makeup done. And then I went to AI and I said, write me a hook. Here's what I want to deliver. I was doing a masterclass, a webinar, a lot like this. And so with AI, telling it, this is what I'm doing. Here's who I want to serve. Here's who my ideal client is. Write me a hook. This is the hook. I've spent 18 months, thousands of hours, and over $50,000 testing AI so you don't have to. Yours could be, I've been a licensed agent for this long. I helped this person save this much money. Here's closing cost. Like, just use your own examples of wins you've already had, experience you've already done, people you've already helped. And then all we have to do is comment the word masterclass to register. And I'll show you exactly how AI will do all the delivery for us. And so this one post here got me 97 comments. This one post took me less than 5 minutes to put together. And you could see we just did a free value add in about 7 to 10 minutes together. So right now we're at 15 minutes. I got 45 leads off of this one post.
Wow.
Here's the difference though. I had 100% delivery rate, 100% opened rate, and 82.2% of those people actually clicked. Why? Because I'm actually drawing in my ideal client, right? If Corey if he's clicking on this, odds are he wants to know about AI. If I'm posting to a first-time home buyer and Sarah's clicking on this, odds are she's in the position that she wants to buy a first home. So the delivery and the effort is cut in a fraction because these people are now raising their hand and coming into our ecosystem. So assuming time allows, we'll actually build one of these. I'll show you exactly how to build this today. That way you guys can implement this right away if you'd like. But I want to keep going here just a little bit. So we're going to attract our ideal client. We're going to automate utilizing AI, something of value and that delivery. We're going to start converting at a much higher level because we're talking to warm bodies who have already raised their hand and said, I want what it is you have to offer. And then we're going to scale our business because now we're working with our ideal client. Referrals are going to be higher because we've enjoyed working together. And we can serve more people in less time when we're attracting people into our ecosystem. So step 2 is the AI-powered lead follow-up. So in my world, what used to be A lead would come in, I would screenshot it over to one of my agents. I would hope my agent would actually reach out. I would hope that information made it into the CRM. It was a completely broken system and not efficient. Now what happens is when a lead comes in, I have our CRM set up that it's automatically creating the contact, it's automatically assigning it to an agent. And ChatGPT is actually stepping in and having a full-blown conversation with these people. So say Jeff comes into my open house, instead of a pen and paper that's probably going to get stuffed in my bag and maybe never see the light of day again, Jeff signs in on an iPad or Jeff scans a QR code and ChatGPT steps in and has a full-blown conversation with them. So if you can see this purple, dark purple dotted line here, ChatGPT is having all of the follow-up conversation, pre-qualifying Jeff, asking him questions, and getting him to book on my calendar. This is if Jeff is responsive, ChatGPT is having a full-blown conversation. If Jeff is not responsive, instead of my agent having to spend the next week or so, 7 to 10 touches, getting ghosted, getting rejected, morale's down, wasting time, we can just train the AI. Hey, wait 45 minutes and then follow up again. Wait 24 hours and then follow up again. Whatever it is that we want it to do is completely customizable. And so this is what this looks like. You're an AI assistant for a top performing real estate agent. Your job is to warmly welcome open house guests immediately after they fill out the digital sign-in form. Your goal is to start a friendly conversation, pre-qualify the lead, and answer any questions about the property and guide them towards scheduling a next step. And so if they are not responsive, hey, this lead hasn't replied. Send a short follow-up text using less than 10 words to get a response. Your end goal is to pre-qualify the lead and get them to book. So just as if I'm training a new agent, a VA, an ISA, I'm just training AI the same way. I'm telling it exactly how I want it to conduct conversation and what its end goal is. And the more powerful part of all of this, in my opinion, is not only are we having to no longer worry about speed to lead because ChatGPT is stepping in right away, we're no longer having to worry about all that follow up because we can just tell AI to follow up as often as we would like or not. But now, instead of a canned message, meaning a drip
Yeah.
campaign or something that we've set up and hope that it's answering people's questions, we can actually say, hey, the lead has actually replied. This is their message. So if Jeff were to respond to the ChatGPT AI that we have working on our behalf and say, I'm not pre-approved and I'm looking for a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom on the west side of town, it'll actually read and analyze that and respond to him. That's super exciting, Jeff. We've got lenders we could work with. Do you have a budget in mind? The west side of town's great. Which suburb are you looking for? What's important to you, right? And these AI bots can actually be pre-qualifying people on our behalf. And so I'm going to show you a Jeff was alluding to the phone version of this. I'm going to show that to you here in just 1 second to show you how it'll pre-qualify anybody who comes through from basically anywhere. And these can be set up on different forms, different QR codes. It can go on your farming postcards, your open house sign-in sheets. It could be what runs if you run ads on Facebook or Google PPC. It can be anything that you want. It's all completely customizable and it's available to you right now. And so I want to jump out real quick and just show you what this voice AI sounds like so you can see what how professional and how it can actually help you offset your phone calls, your business, etc. And this can be one of a couple things, and I'll just show you our numbers for this year just so you have an idea. So our numbers so far this year for our voice AI, she's taken 530 calls and she's triggered 279 actions. So
Wow.
530 times someone called. She's gatekeeping our time, she's pre-qualifying them, and you'll see over here 33% positive. Seems low, right?
Not
However,
really.
it's because she's trained, no offense, Jeff, if a lender calls us to take us to coffee, she says no. If a healthcare person calls us to ask us if we want healthcare, she says no. We're only taking appointments with clients right now. If someone calls us and says, hey, I work for XYZ Leads, we're giving out referrals, and it's spammy, she says no. So 70% of the nonsense calls that we get that otherwise distract us and take us away from our time, our AI is handling on our behalf. And so what this looks like is, let me just do a little test here for you.
A great day at LKW Home Team. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I think I want to sell my house and buy a new one.
Great. Let's start with selling your current home. Can you share the property address and any updates or renovations you've made? Then we can chat about what you're looking for in a new place.
Yeah, the address is 123 East Main Street, and we've put on a new roof, new floors, and updated the kitchen.
Awesome. Those updates sound fantastic and can really add value. Are you looking to sell within the next 3 months, or are you just exploring options right now?
Yeah, I would love to sell before winter.
Got it. Selling before winter is a smart move. Let's get you set up with a listing consultation to kick things off. When would be a good time for you?
How about like Tuesday at 4 p.m.?
Tuesday at 4 p.m. works perfectly. I'll get that scheduled for you. Now, about buying a new home. What's your ideal price range and preferred area?
I like Westerville, and I think my preferred price range is probably around 700,000, but I haven't spoken to a lender yet, so I'm not sure.
Westerville is a lovely area. Since you haven't spoken to a lender yet, I can connect you with one of our trusted partners to get pre approved. This will help us narrow down your options. Would you like me to arrange that for you?
Yeah, and actually, is Lauren available to talk to?
I've connected you with Lauren. She'll be able to assist you further.
And so what happens then is she either takes them through booking an appointment, right, and books them on our calendar, or I get a phone call because they asked for
Wow.
me and I can answer in real time. And so for me, if I say, oh, I just hung up on them. So for me, if I say, hey, I am available, it will transfer warm to me. And it's trained to know Jen's phone number, Jordan's phone number, Taylor's phone number. So if Jeff is calling and just says, hey, I just want to talk to a human, it can ring all of us and whoever picks up, picks up. But if they ask specifically for somebody, it can transfer specifically to us. And what that looks like too is she knows her roles and responsibilities because we've trained her. She knows she's supposed to pre-qualify people and ask them questions. Here's exactly where transfer calls if someone asks for a specific agent. She knows our phone numbers to transfer our calls. And so all of this, just as if we were training a ISA or a VA, is how we speak to AI. And so this is the power of pre-qualifying and getting them to book on our calendar. And the power behind that then is I Tuesday at 4 o'clock show up to that listing appointment. I already know they want to sell before winter. I already know what they think their house is worth. They haven't spoken to an agent, the renovations that they've done, so I can show up with solutions to their problems. If there's three of us in this room that are all going to that listing appointment and I'm showing up with their net to seller already done because I know what renovations they've done, I'm already showing up with a lender pre-approving them. You know, all these things, I'm now putting myself steps ahead and AI is doing all the heavy lifting for me.
Mm.
All right, so I know we're about halfway through right now, so I want to keep moving here. But those voice AI bots can answer the phone and pre-qualify leads, and they can go either way. So for us, that phone number that I just showed you is on Google, it's on Yelp, it's on anything that is consumer facing. That way we know every phone call is getting picked up, regardless of if it's a human or not. You can also reverse that, Jeff. So if you have, depending on who your carrier is, mine's T-Mobile, it's called transitional conditioning. If your carrier allows it, if someone were to call into my personal cell phone number and I couldn't answer, instead of it just picking up my voicemail, I could have it route to the AI to pick up the phone as well. So you can have it go both ways. It's up to you how you want to have it run.
Wow.
All right, so real quickly, let's just go over a quick 5-step framework of how do we even start. This all sounds great, but I have no idea where to even begin. Okay. So the quick 5 steps here. First, you have to spot the bottlenecks in your business. Like Jeff said in the beginning, I'm on the phone all day long. I can't answer the phone. I have to find a way for AI to help me pick up those phone calls. What is that bottleneck? What is killing your growth in your business? And in my experience, like Jeff said, I've had the honor to travel all over the country and speak and teach this year. I've been in front of roughly 10,000 agents. And four categories always come up when I'm doing my market research of what is killing your growth. It's typically either your leads, your time, your team, or your tech.
Mm.
Those are the four categories typically that the biggest bottlenecks that are either costing you money or costing you time in your business. but we have to start with diagnosing what those bottlenecks are, because we can't fix what we're not diagnosing. And so if you look around my office here, I've got 4 huge whiteboards. This is exactly where I started. Start with that 20,000 foot view. What is that process, Jeff, of if you could make your phone perfect, what would that look like? And put it on a whiteboard, put it on a piece of paper. Here's the manual process that we're currently doing as a team. Here's where things are falling apart. Leads are slipping through the cracks. We're not getting exactly what we think that perfect process is. And so once we spot those bottlenecks, the second step then is to start to plug in AI in those areas. So like we talked about, automating lead generation, automating lead follow-up. You can even automate deal analysis. So for Jeff as a lender, you could have AI help you figure out, here's the 6 products that I have, here's their income, here's their credit score, which of these 6 products is best and why. As an investor, I could take my purchase price, my scope of work, the ARV, all the market data, dump it all in there. And hey, based upon my buy box off my, spreadsheet of how I used to run our numbers for a flip or for a burr or whatever it is that we're doing, is this a good deal for me to do or not? And we can train it on those things. So I can train it on my own personal spreadsheet of how I run data. Jeff can train it on his specific products that his company offers. As agents, we can put in our listing consultation information, our buyer consultation information. And so when it comes down to it, we've already trained these AI helpers, these little minions, if you will, to know and shave off, what used to take me 4 to 6 hours of analyzing a deal. Now I can do it in about 15 minutes. We can also automate systems and processes. So if you do use SOPs, standard operating procedures, that's great. If you don't use them, AI can help you write them. All we have to do again is say, here's our manual process step by step, create me a standard operating procedure, and it will. And from there, you can either hand it off to someone like KP on Jeff's team, or you could even take that standard operating procedure, put it right back into AI and say, here's the job description that I want you to take over and help me do.
Wow.
There's a lot of different things that you can do with it. And so then we can start to automate our authority. So once we figured out what those bottlenecks are and we're starting to plug in AI, we're starting to get some of our time back, right? Now we can start to scale it. So we can create AI powered content, meaning we can show ChatGPT or whatever model you're using, Grok, Perplexity, DeepSeek, doesn't matter. ChatGPT is the one that most people use. We can show it examples of our newsletters that we used to write, our emails that we used to write. You could even put in like journals and stuff like that, whatever your writing is. So now it knows how we write. And so I could jump in there at any point and say, hey, write me a Facebook post. And it's going to sound like me because I trained it how to sound like me. It knows my brand voice. It knows where I pause. It knows words I say or don't say. And so you can train it to sound more like you. We've even automated our social proof. So who loves hounding their clients after a closing for a review? Nobody? It's annoying. You feel
Yeah.
annoying, right? But you're like, man, I just worked my butt off for you. I really want that review, right? AI can do all of that follow-up for us there as well. Hey, it's been, a week. Here's a value add of make sure you change your locks or do this or do that, whatever. Also, would you leave us a review? And it will do all that follow up on our behalf. And then we can also train it to understand if Jeff leaves me a review, it will read and analyze that review and respond back to him. And so
Mm.
what's happening now is I'm driving us up through the rankings of Google because I'm engaging with my business. Jeff's leaving a comment. I'm having AI wait 2 to 3 hours and I'm responding back to him. I'm using our own SEO keywords. So things like Columbus, Ohio, first time buyer, investor, words that are going to drive us up through Google anyway. All I have to do is train AI to do all that for me, train it one time, and I never have to touch it again. And we can also automate our local dominance. So what we used to do is go through 5 or 6 different links of things that were going on around the city and find concerts, sporting events, farmers markets, kid friendly, dog friendly. You can train AI to know, hey, what's going on in Columbus, Ohio this year or this weekend? Break it down in dog friendly, kid friendly sports and concerts, and it will do it in a matter of minutes. And so these are ways that what used to take us a half a day, and if you're anything like me, you would overthink it and redo it and procrastinate it and never get to it. and then say we were doing it all day long, right? Now AI can do it for us in about 10 to 15 minutes and it's just done. And then lastly, that fifth step of that spark is now we can start to systematize what's actually moving the needle forward. You're going to find things in, if you actually do this, if you actually sit down on a whiteboard and on a piece of paper, whatever it is, and you actually do this, you're going to find a couple of things and it's okay. You're going to find that you're probably the bottleneck in a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to find that there's a lot of things you do to call yourself productive that aren't actually pushing the needle forward, and that's okay. But again, we can't diagnose what we're not, or we can't fix what we're not diagnosing. And so I found this in my own business. There was a lot of things I was doing that was like, oh, well, that took me 4 hours, but what did it do for me? Nothing. So we've got to be okay and self-aware enough to say that isn't pushing the needle forward. And so in my world, if I find that, one of three things is happening. I'm either going to delegate it, automate it, or just delete it. I don't need it. It's not doing anything for me, right? And so those are the things that we need to do and get super real with our business. And again, we can automate standard operating procedures. If you're going through a listing consultation and you don't have it documented, AI can help you document it step by step while you're doing it. And then we can build these AI bots that will run for you 24/7. They'll make sure that everything is taken care of along the way and nothing is getting lost. So now we're eliminating chaos. We're eliminating complexity. We're no longer having these Frankenstein systems of 50 different tabs open at all times because we got to log into all these different things. And we can start to train AI of where to click and what to do on our behalf. And that is where we get clarity. That's where we start to automate. And that's where our business, we went like this. I mean, literally last year we went, it was about July that it completely exploded because I spent January to June picking one thing and automating it before moving on to the next thing. You don't have to bite off the whole elephant. Take a bite at a time and automate what's going to get you the most time back or make you the most money. That's where I would start. So if you take about an hour a day over the next 90 days, you too could have about 75% of your business automated without burning out or hiring a big team and without losing that personal touch. And like I said, we're only automating the tedious and the mundane, the questions, the exploratory type stuff. That way it frees up our time to be there when they are making a tough decision or they do need, if Jeff is saying, okay, do you want conventional or FHA? Obviously we want to be the one having that conversation, but AI can be the one who asks them what their credit score is and things like that if we want them to be. But again, AI is not here to replace you. It's just about unlocking the version of you who's not buried in busy work. And so I want to take about the next 5 minutes, if that's okay with you, Jeff, to show you guys how you can automate that lead generation portion of things. And then I'll take some Q&A unless people are loving this and want to keep going. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, so like in the chat, personally, you got me lit right now. I've been diving into this since February, like trying to figure out who do I use. I've interviewed probably 10 different programmers. I've talked to 15 different CRMs. I'm not that guy. I usually the guy that makes a decision quick, figures out it's the wrong decision, and then goes in the right direction. But I've been pausing because I'm trying to make the right decision. And I love what's being said here. If you guys just throw it in the chat, if you want her to keep going, I do. Like Lauren, I don't care if it's just me and you. If you want her to keep going, just throw it in the chat that you want her to keep going. We started with 34. We're down to 26. It made me think of this. I know people have appointments or have things to do. This is so good. And the reason I say this is that the past 3 years have been tough. If you're on this call right now, you've made it. Like you've made it. Like there was a huge cleansing of real estate agents and lenders. I think lenders, there were like 500,000 licensed loan officers in 2020. I think it's less than 90,000 now. Agents, the numbers are kind of similar, right? You guys are getting destroyed. But if you're here now, you made it and these rates are coming down. The market's coming back. Like this is time to get this system dialed in so you can crush it in the next season and do better than you did in 2020 and 2021. I'm super excited about this, Lauren. So yeah, they're like, keep bringing it. Everybody's like, keep
Go.
yeah, Lauren, go after it. Like I usually say we're in and out of here in a half hour because I don't want to waste people's time. This is not a waste of time. Like
Oh,
just
I promise
get
I won't
after it.
waste it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
promise I won't waste it. All right, cool. Let's keep going then. All right, so has anyone heard of ManyChat? Raise your
Yeah.
hand if you've heard of ManyChat. Okay, couple of us. Good. So ManyChat is the AI that you saw back here with my photo. Where'd it go? Here we go. I went too far. This right here, where it says comment the word, that is ManyChat AI. So what I'm going to show you is how to set this up. And you can see here, I've got multiples of them. These are what I call bots who are watching specific words on my social media and firing off things of value. So for example, this one right here, I've gotten 55 leads on, 53, 33. That one only had 2, 33, 50, 27. So ManyChat is what I use to ensure that when someone raises their hand, I'm not stuck in my DMs actually giving them the thing. Okay. And so what this looks like is ManyChat it does have a free version. I personally pay $15 a month, $15 a month. And so what happens is I can come in here, and if you remember back to my Be Real video that took me, call it 5 minutes to create, and then we made that lead magnet together, which took another 7 to 10. So we'll call it, we're at 15 minutes so far. I'm going to show you how easy this is to set up, and you could have a lead generation bot ready for you in 30 minutes or less today. So when we log into ManyChat, the first one at the very top here where it says popular, auto DM links from comments. We're going to click on this. This is what the paid version looks like. If you don't do the paid version, you would not have these other 2 options. That's all. I mean, the pro version just opens up more opportunity. So it would still look the same. You just wouldn't have as many options. So when you click on this, it's going to start to prompt us of what it is that we want the AI to do and what we want it to watch. So for example, I could choose a specific post or reel. So for example, if we go back to my Instagram, there was one that I posted here that says, what did it say? Become searchable on ChatGPT, comment search. And I had 134 people or 134 comments on it. That would be a specific post. That one post is what I want to send that one thing for. So for you, think listings. You got a specific property you want to send specific information for. You've got a specific event you want to send specific information for. You can choose which post you want these AI bots to be connected to. Your other option is if you want to get more broad with what you're doing, it can actually fire off of any post or reel. So if I'm going after my first-time homebuyer that I made this little first-time homebuyer playbook for, I could say, comment the word buyer on every single post for the rest of my career, and this bot will fire off every single time because I'm giving it permission to watch any post or reel. Okay. And so the third option is next post or reel. That basically would just be you're setting this up before you actually go into Instagram or Facebook and make the post. Okay. For this sake, I'm going to go any post or reel. So we're pretty broad and we get more leads than just a specific property or event. So if I click any post or reel, my next option is what do I want that word to be? So I would recommend you make it relevant to whatever it is of value that you're giving, but not so generic that someone might also comment that word just randomly with no intent to actually get what it is you're offering. So for example, Jeff, if someone is going in your comments and being like, hey, do you do mortgage, question mark, I would probably get a little bit more niche down than just mortgage, because even if they're not intending to, the bot doesn't know the intent behind it. They only know I'm watching for that one word and I'm going to fire off. So that's just one little pro tip. So I would probably say, because I'm doing my first time buyer playbook, I would maybe name it playbook. No one's going to comment on my Instagram randomly and say playbook. So I would just put playbook here. Personally, for me, I also would make it plural in case someone actually either adds an S, or if there's a word that it autocorrects to, check it on your phone. I made this mistake where so I'm Keller Williams, we're the Ohio Valley region, OVR, and I was doing this for a regional thing I was speaking at, not realizing that OVR autocorrects to IVE on an iPhone.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I had all of these people and it was all correcting to IVE and I didn't hear, so I had to physically go back to all of them and do it. I was like, well, that just shot myself in the foot. So just know whatever the word is, make sure it doesn't autocorrect to something. So I choose a specific word. You can choose any word, but honestly, if you have bots firing off, no matter what people are saying on what posts, it's going to get a little bit crazy. So I do not recommend doing any word. I always choose a specific word. Now, the next option we have is, do we want the AI to actually respond to those comments? So say Jeff were to comment on my post playbook. Do I want my AI to respond to Jeff? In my world, in my opinion, I do. Because if you remember back to the example I showed you, I had 97 comments and 45 leads because 45 people said, I want that thing, and my bot responded to them. So there's 90 comments right there. That's driving my post out to more people because the algorithm sees all of the engagement on it. So I would recommend that you actually do reply, and you can completely customize what these replies are. So for example, if I wanted to put this more in my brand voice or put an emoji or things like that, these are 3 renditions of what the AI is going to do. So it's not 3 comments to every single person. It's one of these in a randomized fashion, so it doesn't look like it's the same over and over and over response. So for example, if I want to come in here and say, check your DMs and do something like the fire emoji, you could even end this with a question. Where are you looking? And so if I end each one of these with a question, odds are that person's probably going to comment back, right? Which means more engagement, which means more reach, which means more eyeballs are going to actually see the thing. So you can customize this however you'd like to do it for your business. And then the next question is, what do you want the opening DM to sound like? What do you want it to say? So again, you can completely customize this to your brand voice, and how you speak. I highly recommend we open with a DM message though, before we just send a link. Because if I'm sending Jeff a link for the first time I've ever connected with him, the algorithm's likely to think that I'm spam, and they're going to push me into his request folder or his spam folder. If I open it with a friendly, just words, and then I have this where it says, send me the link, that's Jeff opting into saying, yes, I want that. And so I'm going to show up in his primary or general folder. Okay. And you can see here on the right-hand side, it's building out with us in real time. So you can see exactly what the consumer is going to see in their DMs. Once we have that, we do have the opportunity to toggle on if we want them to actually have to follow us or provide their email. Now, this is just my opinion, my 2 cents. I do not ask them for a follow, because if someone's in my DMs and I send this message that says, hey, you've got to follow me first, they actually have to get out of my DMs, go to my profile, click follow, and then I have to hope they're coming back into my DMs. It's likely not going to happen. It's too much tension, too much friction. We only get 3 seconds to get people's attention, right? So I do not ask for a follow for that reason. You could also ask for an email address in the DMs. Obviously, a lot of people like to do that because that's what we're there. We want to collect information, right? I personally don't do that either, because I don't want them to have more tension than possible to get that free thing that I've just offered them. So where I collect their information is either when I send them the Google document, I would put my calendar link at the bottom. I would put an opt-in on the Google Doc for them to have to register to get the thing before they actually can get the playbook that we wrote. I would make it a Zoom where I make it, so if you set up a Zoom call or a webinar or something like that on Zoom, you can actually require registration then. There's a lot of other ways you can get it once they're just a little bit closer to the thing, that I have found it's a higher conversion than asking them in the DMs. So again, completely up to you. You can ask for a follow, you can ask for an email address. And then the last message is just, what do you want to send them as you send it? So I would say, here you go. Hope you like it, whatever it is that you want. Now, if you remember back to our Google document, all we have to do is copy the URL of this Google document, come over here and add it as a link, and just say, click here, and then hit save. So now you can see when someone comments the word, they're going to get this message. It's going to say, send me the link. They're going to click send me the link, and it's going to say, here you go. And they open it up, and it's going to take them straight to this Google document. So what happens then is all we have to do is choose if we want the AI to follow up with them. So if Jeff isn't clicking on the link, I could turn this on and it will remind him to click the link, and then hit go live, and that's it. We're done. We've just set up a lead generation bot, and all we have to do moving forward is create these call to actions, comment the word, comment the word. You can see here, I've got comment the word growth. Here's comment the word search. I've got a lot of different bots doing different things, and we can set them up however it is that you want. And like I said too, on the automation side of things, I've got multiple that are live. Now, say I didn't want this one to go off anymore, I could literally come in here and just toggle it. Oops. Where'd it go? I can toggle it and hit stop. If I'm getting too many leads or if I'm not wanting it to do that anymore, I can just stop it and start it whenever I want to ensure that these are making, at least filling my pipeline of people who are raising their hand and saying they want that thing.
Wow. You made that look so simple. I always thought that was way more complicated than that.
No, that's the thing is like we overanalyze things. We think
Yep.
that it's going to be super hard. We put it off, and then it's like, wow, I could have had that done months ago for 30 minutes, maybe 60 minutes of my time.
Yeah. And so the one thing, well, two things. There's a question in the chat that says, can this work for Facebook too?
Yes. So if you go
Yeah.
back, let me show you many chat settings. Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook, SMS, email, and Telegram. The only thing I will tell you is this is Meta's restrictions. This is not ManyChat. Meta's restrictions are anything that we're automating through Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. It has to be a professional or a business account. We cannot automate on personal accounts. So on Facebook, you have to set up a business account. You can then share it to your personal account if you'd like to, but you can't automate to a personal. On Instagram, you can be either a professional or a creator. You just can't be individual. So those are the two caveats. Those are just Meta's restrictions, whether we're using ManyChat or Zapier or anything like that to automate. All
And
right.
the only thing I was going to say is everybody on the call, like I'm scribbling down notes, but at the same time, if you want to implement this stuff, before you hop off, I want you to notice you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. I threw it in the chat. You can watch the YouTube replay and hit pause and implement what Lauren's walking through.
Yeah.
And then Lauren, you may have another answer as well, but I don't want to hijack it. So yeah.
No, totally. Totally.
Um,
Yeah.
do
YouTube.
you have a way for them to implement as well?
Yeah, I've got a school community that you're welcome to be a part of. That's where we go live and do masterminds kind of like this 3 times a week, where I teach everything's copy and paste, plug and play. So I'm happy to share that information with you guys if anyone's interested.
Yep.
But my YouTube channel, there are, I think, a handful of replays up there. I'm not like a YouTuber, like I don't get like out and super fancy with it. It's just replay stuff. Um, but yeah, majority of the replays and everything is from my mastermind group where we go live 3 times a week. So if anyone wants that information, I'm more than happy to give it to you guys, no problem. Uh,
Yeah, we'll send that out with the replay as well. If you can send that over to me, Lauren, we'll put that in there so everyone can sign up. Yep.
Totally. John asked if my Facebook links with my Instagram, does it work in sync together? So you actually have to set up 2 different bots, one for Facebook and one for Instagram. There's not a way for it to know because they're 2 different platforms. And I don't know if you knew this, but obviously Mark Zuckerberg owned Facebook first and then bought Instagram. So there's still technically 2 different things on the back end, even though they're all Meta now. But you do have to set up 2 different bots, one for Facebook and one for Instagram.
Yep.
All right, so let's keep rolling. So step one, we used ChatGPT to create our lead magnet. We set up a ManyChat automation to a social post, and then we collect leads on autopilot and or to set appointments. And like I said, if you don't want to make a lead magnet, it could be a link to your webinar, a link to your calendar, a link to anything you've already gotten made. It doesn't matter what it is. And then we rinse and repeat that over and over to create those leads. And as you saw in the last 4 or 5 posts that I've made, I've gotten anywhere from 150 to 200 leads,
Wow.
just based off that. All right. So next I want to talk a little bit about efficiency. And again, Jeff, you stop me whenever. I'm just here to add value. So the longer people want me to talk, I will.
I,
Um,
I'm
two,
loving it. I'm good. Like this, I've been digging for this stuff for 8 months, and I got it all in one bucket right here. I'm good.
cool. All right.
I'm being selfish. I'm good.
I love it.
Yeah.
So 2 more platforms I want to talk about are both free. These are free platforms you can utilize today. The first one I want to talk about is Notebook LM. Is anyone utilizing Notebook LM yet?
Mm-mm.
All right. So I want to, I see John's shirt there says KW. I wanted to show you real quick, John, With KW, for some reason, they do not like Google. So you're going to get something that looks like this. We're sorry, but you do not have access if you use your KW login. All you have to do is go to your profile picture here and just switch that to a different personal account. Or I use like lkwhometeam@gmail.com and it will get you right through. So if you're KW, just know that if that white screen pops up, you just have to use a personal account. Okay. So Notebook LM is a lot like Google Drive, but on steroids. And so what this does then is you'll see a lot of untitled notebooks because I do a lot of different demos here, but you could dump any source of information into one of these notebooks and you can dump up to 300 pieces of sources of information into one notebook. So say, for example, I have 50 hours of YouTube videos that are on my watch list that I think I might get to someday that I'm probably never going to see. I could drop all 50 of those links from YouTube in here and create a notebook specific to those links. If I had HOA documentation, if I had listing, buyer consultations, I've had, what else have I had people do? Development projects, dump all the development projects in to one folder. And as you dump this information into this folder, here's what happens. You now have a folder powered by AI specific to those sources of information. So this right here is a 3-hour YouTube video of mine that I put in here just for an example. And what happens then is I now have a chatbot specific to this one source of information. So I could come in here and I could say, I am a new real estate agent. Give me the top 5 takeaways from this video. And instead of me having to watch 3 hours of content on a YouTube video, I could say to the chat exactly what I need, and it will actually break down those top 5 takeaways and show me exactly where it found that information. So for example, as it posts here, one second. Here are the top 5 takeaways from the video. Embrace AI to dominate, automate repetitive tasks to reclaim significant time, master prompt engineering, and start implementing. So say I'm reading this and I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know anything about prompt engineering. I could literally click on the source and it will take me over to the video and show me exactly where that person said that thing so I can get more clarity. So I'm not hunting through this 3-hour video. I'm just saying, okay, where did you source that from? And I could have, I mean, this full chatbot, I can ask it just like I would ChatGPT. The difference is it's only pulling from the sources of information that I'm giving it. Okay, it's not pulling from the internet. It's not pulling from all the trainings of what ChatGPT has been trained on. It's only pulling from the sources that you're giving it. Now, other powerful things that Notebook LM can do, and again, this is completely free. If I'm putting all of my listing documentation, listing consultation, and things like that, all for listings in here, I could come over here and I could create a study guide of frequently asked questions, anything that I need to give to my clients. If I had a unique listing, I could put the listing information, MLS sheet, upgrades, renovations that were done, year that the roof and the HVAC, how close to grocery store and schools, whatever information I want. And I could create a document that breaks all that down for those buyers. So it does things like mind maps, briefing documents, frequently asked questions, study guides, all of this it does for you in a matter of seconds. I want to show you the most powerful thing, in my opinion, though, is it will actually create you an AI-powered podcast. So say 3-hour YouTube video, I don't have time for that. I could come in here and make it a AI-powered podcast that's 15 minutes long, pop my headphones in, and I could actually ask the podcast questions in real time. So I'm going to show this to you here just for a second so you can hear it.
Imagine saving hundreds of hours, literally hundreds of hours every single year.
Yeah, that alone sounds pretty amazing.
Right. And getting what feels like an unfair advantage. And oh, hey there, how can we help?
Hey, actually, I only got like 2 minutes. Can you just give me the top 3 takeaways from this?
Oh, absolutely. We can definitely do that for you right now.
Thanks for chiming in. 2 minutes, top 3 takeaways. We can totally make that happen.
So if you're really short on time,
So you can literally ask it clarifying questions and have it break down in real time anything that you need. So back to my say I've got 50 hours of Gary Vee and Alex Hormozy and all these people that I want to watch on YouTube, but I just don't have the time. I could dump all of that in here, make a podcast, pop my headphones in, take the dogs for a walk, and in 15, 20 minutes, ask this podcast all the questions that I had and get all the information I need to extract out of it.
That's crazy.
They also just rolled out, I haven't used it yet. They also just rolled this out that not only will it do the audio, but they'll actually generate an explainer video. Like, so that podcast will be like AI powered video. So that's another option too that you could, and again, say you've got this fancy, I don't know where you guys sell or what your price points are, but say you've got this fancy listing that has all these upgrades and blah, 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 and super awesome. You could dump all the information in here, go to your listing appointment and be like, hey, seller, I just created an AI powered podcast specific for your property. I'm going to send it to all the buyers. No one else is going to do that. If you have the age of the roof, all the upgrades, all the fancy things of what people will drive people to want to live in that neighborhood, that city, that school district, whatever it is, you can put all that in here and create this podcast and send it off to all the buyers. Specific.
Is there a paid version to protect your information?
I haven't looked. I haven't used it to that extent of needing to do that.
Okay.
I don't put clients' information in.
Okay.
I've put a couple of our personal Alta statements in. So like, here's a couple Alta statements that we did. I can come in here and say, give me a breakdown of insurance costs for, I don't know, Kenwick. So I just put these in here to show that it can actually go read Alta statements and CDs and find information, so you don't have to flip through and have that potential for human error. But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of different things you can do, and these notebooks are not they're not training any sort of AI. They're just analyzing the information you're giving them. So it's a lot different than ChatGPT itself. But I just typed in all these 4 documents, and it's giving me, here's the owner's policy, here's the coverage of the owner's policy, here's the credit. I mean, it'll
Okay.
go find any information that you need. All right, so that's Notebook LM. The second one I want to show you real quick is Google's AI Studio. And so for Google's AI Studio, again, this is a free platform. It does have Gemini built into it. So if you are a Gemini user, you can actually just use it right here within the studio. I personally use this for 2 different topics or functions that it has. The first one is the streaming feature. So with the streaming feature, you now can have an AI assistant over your shoulder 24/7. It'll walk you through anything that you need it to walk you through. So what happens with that is, say I was, let's see, I used command yesterday. I'll just use command as an example. Say I was on Keller Williams command, and say I ran into a problem and I couldn't figure out how to run a campaign for one of my listings. I could log in and just have the screen ready to go to where I'm stuck. So I am stuck. I can't figure out how to run a campaign. All I'd have to do is go to the Google AI Studio, which is free. On the left-hand side, click on the stream button, and then allow the computer to share my screen. And once I do that, just watch what happens. I go entire screen and this screen share. Hey, Google, can you help me write a campaign?
Sure, I can help with that. First, please go to the campaigns icon in the left menu. It looks like a bankaphone.
Okay, and now what do I do?
Now click on the Create New Campaign button. It's usually in the top right corner. Then select the type of campaign you want to create. For example, paid ads.
Okay, what if I wanted to do a social post? What's the difference?
A social post is for free content on social media, while a paid ad is a paid advertisement to reach a wider audience. If you want to create a regular post without paying, select Social Post.
Okay, yeah, we'll try paid ads.
Great! Now you'll see options for the platform. Select the platform you want to use for your paid ad. For example, Facebook. Then give your campaign a name and choose the goal for your campaign, like advertise a listing.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of options. Which one do you think would bring me the most buyer leads for my listing?
For maximizing buyer leads, the advertise a listing option is usually the best choice. It's specifically designed to attract potential buyers to your listing.
Okay, and what's the difference between the Facebook form and the landing page form?
The Facebook form keeps potential buyers within the Facebook app, making it easier for them to submit their information. The landing page form takes them to a separate web page, which can provide more information about the listing. Choose the option that.
So see how she's walking me step by step of where to click and what to do?
Yeah.
But the cool part is, remember back to those SOPs, if we don't have them, she's also documenting where I'm clicking and what I'm doing the entire way. So if I'm building out a campaign, she can help me do it. She can also help me document the steps I'm taking in doing it.
Mm. And you can do that with any screen?
Any screen. Yep. I've used it for Excel. I've used it for Facebook. I've used it for obviously Command, Go High Level, Canva. Basically anything that you're stuck on, all you have to do is share your screen and ask it, and it'll walk you through step by step.
And what's that one called? Google AI Studio.
aistudio.google.com. Yep. So that's the first thing I use Google's AI Studio for. The second thing I use it for is they do have a build feature. So anybody can build anything now without having to know how to code. And again, this is also a free platform, so you can utilize this starting today for anything that you need. So say, for example, I I'll just use you, Jeff. I am a lender and I want to create a calculator for my buyer clients to run payment analysis options. I want it to have a sliding bar that will show them options for down payment. Oops. From 3% to 20%. I want it to calculate purchase price, interest rate, taxes, HOA, and final monthly payment. Now, I'm prompting this in a way that you don't have to know how to prompt. I'm just telling you what I want it to do. Obviously, I know how to prompt a little bit more than, to make it better, but I want to show you just using typical, words like you and I do it just in having conversation. Now, all I did was press go and my hands are completely off the keyboard. Watch what happens. It's initiating, it's outlining, it's gonna write an entire app, an entire calculator for me in a matter of minutes. It's gonna code the entire thing. I can brand it to whoever I want with my colors, with my logos. I could have opt-ins that I need to require them to have an address or a phone number before they can actually utilize it. You can build anything in real time right now. And again, my hands are right here. Look at all this coding that's happening, and I have no idea what it even means. I just know that it works.
Wow.
So what if, Jeff, you built something that was specific to you, sent it out to your clients or added it to your website, and now every time that they pull it up, your information's right there. They're looking at your name, you're top of mind over and over and over. Or you
Right.
do something like this to even attract more agents into your world. So now you've got more agents who want to work with you. Agents, we could utilize this for recruiting agents to our team, buyers, sellers, investment calculators, cap rates, whatever it is that you want. If you can think it, you can build it.
Wow. Wow.
Now I've got this sliding scale. So if I come in here and I say I want 750, there we go. I want to use, there's 6% down payment. There's 18% down payment. I can change the interest rates to 5. I can make the property taxes 800. And in real time, it's breaking down everything that I need.
That's crazy.
What are your brand colors, Chef? Do you have any?
Abigail's not on here, but they're I don't know the exact ones, but they're blue and gold for the most part, or blue, gold, and white. Yeah.
Okay, we'll say I want to make this blue, gold, and white. I want to have an opt-in to get their name and email. And again, I click go, I'm hands off. It's going to change all the coding and make it blue, white, and gold and have an actual opt-in for you. So in real time, you can tweak it and change it and make updates and add features and, ask for anything.
Can you put all the websites that are free in the chat box?
Yep. Let's see here. Just delete this. Go there. There's Notebook LM. And then I'll open a second one here, Google AI Studio. There's the AI Studio. And so we'll go back over here and see it's still working.
Yeah.
I can certainly update the mortgage calculator theme to a sophisticated blue, gold, and white palette and add an opt-in form to capture leads.
So Lauren, like I used to be a programmer from 95 to 2001. That's what I went to college for. And like watching the code, the syntax pop up there was absolute insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing is I don't know how to code, but with all this AI, you can have CSS, JSON, HTML, whatever it is that you want. You just got to tell it whatever. I mean, I don't know what those mean, but I know that I can tell it to do one and it will do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's still thinking a little bit, but it'll change all of this to be exactly what we told it to be. And so this is how you can start to build and add things into your arsenal that other agents and other mortgage lenders aren't going to have.
Wow.
All right, so while that's still going, I'll just keep
Yep.
moving on because I've got a couple more things if people still want to stick around for another 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, I'm game.
Cool.
Everybody else good? Throw it in the chat if you want to be here or just stay here. One of the two.
Yeah, or just say, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. All right, so let's keep moving here. So we talked about Notebook LM. We talked about Google's AI Studio. Next, I want to talk about ChatGPT. So a lot of you are likely using ChatGPT, probably not as efficiently as you can, okay? And so what I want to talk about is prompting. And as up until here, just now, everything that I have prompted, I am talking to it as if I were you. I don't know how to prompt. There was nothing spectacular. It was nothing sophisticated, right? Now I'm going to flip that a little bit and show you how to get a little bit more niche down with your prompting. So one thing I want you to keep in mind is your input is equivalent to your output, meaning I don't necessarily like this saying, but garbage in, garbage out, right? You have to know how to talk to it to get what you want out of it, which is why prompting is very important. So the framework that I use is we have to give it a specific role. We have to tell it, you are a marketing strategist. You're a real estate data analyst. You're a mortgage expert. Whatever it is that you want it to be doing, we have to be clear with it. Then we have to tell it the tasks that we want it to do. Create me a 30-day content calendar. Create me a email campaign for the next 60 days. Whatever it is that you want it to do, create me a lead magnet. We just did that one this morning together. Next, we have to tell it the steps or the goals. What steps does it need to take, or what is the goal, the outcome that we're looking for? So for example, you're a marketing specialist. I want you to create a high value lead magnet for first-time homebuyers. I want to generate 50 leads in the next 30 days. Okay, now then we tell it the format. Do we want it to be a Facebook post, a newsletter, a blog post, an email campaign? What is it that we want it to format it as? You saw Jeff on mine. I told it I wanted a lead magnet. It knew to make headers. It knew to make an outline. It knew to break it down in a way that would be digestible. Next, we tell it constraints. What don't we want it to do? So for example, if I'm a first-time homebuyer agent, maybe I'm going to say avoid utilizing real estate jargon. Avoid using acronyms. Avoid, avoid, avoid. Just as much as we're telling it what to do, we can also tell it what not to do. Okay. And then lastly, if you take nothing else from this portion, allow it to ask you questions. At the end of every prompt, I would ask or tell it, ask me 3 to 5 questions, one at a time. One at a time allows it to, if it's going to ask me question 1, I get to respond and it gets to read my response before it asks me question 2. Otherwise, it's just going to regurgitate 3 to 5 questions and it's not going to actually take what I'm saying into consideration. But this allows it to get certain with pretty much, I won't say 100%, but pretty close to 100% clarity on what it is that you're looking for it to do. Instead of just guessing or anticipating, it'll actually ask you what those questions are. And so the best prompts with AI are actually commands. They're not questions. All of us are so used to asking questions because we've been utilizing Google for the last 20, 25 years. What's the best restaurant? How do I cold call? Where do I lead generate? Question mark, question mark, question mark, right? If you're utilizing AI like that, you're still going to get answers, but they're going to be very vague answers. They're not going to be specific to what it is that you're looking for it to do. So instead of how do I follow up with a cold lead, we want to say, you're an expert ISA in the real estate industry. Give me a step-by-step instructions for following up with cold leads, including text, call, and email scripts, as well as frequency. Those are going to give you 2 very different outputs. And so what this looks like is here, if I were to say, create me a workout plan, very broad, very vague, not very specific at all. 3 sets of 10 squats, 3 sets of 8 deadlifts. Helpful, sure, but not for me. Now, if I tell it, here's my starting weight, here's my end weight, here's my time frame. Here's my goal. I want to gain 10 pounds of healthy weight in 90 days. Here's how I'm starting. Here's where I'm ending. Here's my strategy. Look at this. I
Wow.
didn't even know I should start with nutrition. It's telling me that nutrition is more important than exercise. And not only that, it's telling me my daily caloric intake. It's telling me how many grams of protein. It's understanding that I didn't know nutrition was important, so I probably don't know where to get that protein. So it's going to give me those protein sources. It's going to break down meal plans and things like that. So see how the difference is if I just say make me a workout plan versus, you know, here's my goal, here's where I'm starting, here's my timeline, here's what I want to contribute or what I want to do. 2 very different outputs, and it will start to plug holes that we as the human being are not seeing. So back to my marketing. You're a marketing expert. I want you to create me a 30-day content strategy. I want this to generate 50 leads in the next 30 days. Because I told it my goal, it's going to pivot its conversation to me and make me have more call to actions than if I wouldn't have told it that. So we got to be very specific with it, just like we would an intern or, you know, an employee that works for us. One more thing I want to show you real quick, and then I know I want to respect time, but with ChatGPT itself, you can actually come in if you're on the there's a free version and a $20 a month version. I pay $20 a month. It's up to you what you want to do. On the left-hand side at the very bottom, there's a personalization. You can actually train overall ChatGPT to be how it is that you want it to be. So for example, I told mine be kind, informative, help assist, tell it like it is, don't sugarcoat responses, take a forward-thinking view, write like a human. All these things that no matter what I'm asking it to do, I want it to just have these traits overall. That's one way you can customize it. Another way you could customize is what's called custom GPTs. So on the left-hand side, if you click on GPTs, it opens up what looks like a Google Play Store or an iPhone App Store. And you can actually have custom GPTs do things for you. So instead of prompting and going down this rabbit hole, if you don't have time to do so, if you needed a marketing GPT, you could just type in marketing, and all of these different options of marketing specific GPTs that people have already created are available to you right now. So if Jeff wanted a marketing expert, he'd come through here. You can see this one has 1 million people using it. This one has 400,000 people using it. This one has 3 million people using it. So this one's probably pretty good if 3 million people are using it. I can come in here and I can see reviews. I can see what number it is. I can see what it's trained to do. I can see how many conversations. And I can actually just click start chat and have it available to me right now.
Wow.
Now, if I was a little bit more of a control freak like I am, I could actually come over here to the top right and hit create, and I could make my own. So I could tell it, I want you to be XYZ. And it's going to ask me a ton of different questions in real time. What type of tonality? Do you want polished and professional? Do you want educational and witty? What is it that you want? It's going to ask me questions throughout. And to save time, I'm not going to take you through the whole thing, but here's what this looks like. So for example, I made this one just the other day. And me having a full conversation with it and just talking to it, like you and I would be having a conversation saying, I want it to do that. I want it to do that. I want it to do this. It wrote this entire thing for me. This GPT is designed to act as a specialized trainer for real estate professionals, including agents and lenders who want to learn how to become discoverable in AI-driven environments like ChatGPT, search engines, and other generative AI systems. So Jeff, if you saw on Forward, I dropped this in last week. This is what I
Yep.
want to be able to come searchable on AI. I didn't actually write any of these instructions. I just had an in-depth conversation with it about what I wanted it to be able to do, and it wrote these instructions and built itself based upon our conversation.
I'm blown away. Like I'm watching this replay, like with a pen and pad, sitting down in front, not even a pen and pad, like in front of my freaking computer to implement the stuff that you just shared with us. I don't even know what to say. Does anybody have any questions here?
Yeah, I want to leave some time for questions.
Yeah. So my question to the group is who plans on implementing it? And here's the thing, like I've been getting coached since 2016, 15. You go to these events, Lauren and I go to them. They're like 2 or 3 days. You're blown away by all the information that you're hit with. And you walk out of there and you either do nothing because you're just so overwhelmed, or you go, I'm going to do all these things and you still do nothing. The one thing I've learned for doing it for about 10 years is just pick one thing, right? Just pick one thing to do one thing, implement that one thing, and catch some momentum going forward. So, um, who's planning on implementing just one thing? Yeah. Kendra, I see you. Bonnie, I see you. Fincham, you going to do anything? Oh, definitely me. He said it. Okay. Yeah. Um, Tina will. That's good. Just do one thing. Just keep it simple, catch some momentum, and then get it going forward. So Corey Metzger said, "Yep, thank you for this information." Here's my hope is that for me, most of this stuff was all new. Like, yes, I use ChatGPT. Yes, I've been talking to people about building this out. Is there any one-on-one training that you would do so that I can implement for my company specifically? Lauren, I think you do, right? Like you have, like this is your demand has driven you or caused you to build out a system or a team that helps with this, right?
Yeah, so I've got a full-blown community on School. There's about 120 agents and lenders in there. That's group coaching. We do mastermind stuff 3 times a week. Everything's plug and play, copy and paste. I also do one-on-one strategy sessions, no contracts or anything like that. You book them when you need them. They're 90 minutes each. We worry about exactly what it is you need within your business one-on-one. So I dropped my Instagram handle. I also dropped my email. Feel free to reach out to me either way. And I can send you calendar links and we can talk depending on what it is that you like, if you want one-on-one or group.
And then John, I'm with you. So John's like, hey, can we bring Lauren to our area for a seminar? So John, that's my hope, right? Like because I agree with John, and Lori goes, I want to come. So here's the thing: spread the word. If we get enough demand to have a room full, to have Lauren come in, and it's worth her time to come in, we'll do it. What I want to do, and it's tricky because this time of the year, because everyone lays up in November, December, because they're like, oh, it's the holidays. I'm just going to lay up. And then January in Pittsburgh is like all snow. But February is usually the best. That's 5 months from now. I'm not that guy that likes to wait that long. Um, I would rather do it sooner rather than later. So talk to some of your colleagues, talk to some of your friends, see if we can get enough people here to bring Lauren into town, and maybe we'll do it sooner rather than later. My thing is that it's always good to have a little bit of knowledge about what she's going to talk about. Like today, I don't know about you, but I'm blown away and I'm overwhelmed right now going, how do I get my head wrapped around everything she just described to me? So I just have to start implementing a little bit at a time so that my hope is that um, by the time Lauren comes in, I'm further down the river and can ask more qualifying questions. And what I mean by that is when I first started computer programming, my mentor at the time come up to me and I'm asking him to walk me through an algorithm and how to program this one piece of code. He goes, look, man, I'm going to show you how to do this the first time. You can come back to me a second time if you're into the code and you're stuck somewhere down the river. If you come back to me a third time, you're fired, which meant like you got to have it together. So you have to know a little bit. You can't walk into a room that you know nothing about and expect to get as much out of that 8-hour session that she's going to give unless you have a working knowledge of what she's talking about. So my hope is like, let's start all implementing just one thing, working on what she's doing, watch this replay, and then let's just play it by ear and see. Just email me, text me, whatever. Let me know how many people you have coming. And if the number's high enough that we have enough people that want to come, then I'll talk to Lauren and we'll get it on the calendar and get her in here. Lauren, you cool with that?
Yeah, totally. I mean, you guys, you're Pittsburgh, right?
Yep. I mean, 3 hours away, right?
Yeah, it's like 3.5 hours. Not far
It's
at
a
all.
straight shot down 70. You just got to watch the cops because they sit every 2 miles.
I'll just make sure it's not when the Browns are playing.
Are you a Browns fan?
Oh yeah, I was born and raised up near Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't
I
hold
feel
it.
bad for you guys, man. I didn't realize how bad Cleveland has it until I watched a special on like all the heartaches that
Yeah,
Cleveland has.
we're either super loyal or super dumb. I'm not really sure which one.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're in Columbus, right?
Now,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been in Columbus since 2007.
Okay. And I have family in Ashtabula, and
Yeah.
they're still Steeler fans though. Like that's where my dad was born, so a lot of my dad's family's there.
Ohio's confused. It's like a
Yeah.
third Browns, a third Bengals, and a third Steelers.
Yeah.
Like we're
Yeah.
very confused. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you for
No
your
good.
time. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's connect. I'll get you the slides. I'll get you the school community. I'll get you a couple things so you can send out with your
Yep.
reply.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. This is going to change the game for a lot of people.
Awesome. Everyone have a great day. I appreciate it.
We'll see you guys. Have a great day.